What is going on, Bills Mafia? Came back today. We are still alive, which has kind of been the theme for the Buffalo Bills for the last 6 weeks now. And we continued the same trend of winning, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-14. Actually, it was 31-17. I got this score wrong here. Let me fix that for you. To advance to the divisional round, a big matchup coming up versus Kansas City. Finally in Buffalo, I will say. Coming close in the building with me, James Mallory. Mal, they got it done behind 3 touchdowns from Josh Allen. And, yeah, man, defense looked good. You know, obviously, we couldn't do it without somewhat keeping it interesting because it's just the Buffalo way, right? But I want to talk a little bit about this game, and let's recap it a little bit. Josh Allen's performance, 21-30, 203 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, not including the 152-yard run that he had. I think he had about 79 yards rushing. What you think about the Bills' performance versus the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Man, the Bills' performance overall, I mean, it was good. I'm not going to say it was great. I'm not going to say it was bad. They made plays when they needed to make plays, right? And that's the most important thing in the playoffs, man. You make plays in a timely manner. You're not going to have the perfect game where you're just going to blow people out, and they're not going to make plays. You make all the plays. That's not realistic in the playoffs, especially against a team that's well coached like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? They're going to be well coached. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to be prepared. And that showed because they kind of hung around there for a little bit, right? Where it wasn't a blowout. They hung around. They put up a fight, right? They're not going to go out and just lay an egg. That's not the Pittsburgh Steelers way. So when it was time to make plays, whether it be a 3rd and 9 and, you know, is you make a play, unscripted play, and with Stephon Diggs, he makes a big play. Whether it's Kyer Elam showing a mental toughness of being able to give up, you know, that penalty, the pass interference, right? He comes right back instead of putting his head down and pouting and whatnot, and he made it up. Made a big interception. Made a big interception in the end zone. And then, you know, just the defense overall with guys going down. The next person stepped up. It wasn't a drop-off. So I love what I seen out of him.
Yeah, as I fixed this score there for us. I thought the Bills played well. The biggest thing for me about this football game was the Bills got out there and jumped up on them early. You know, I was hoping that they were going to put this game to rest, put them to bed early, and not worry about the maybe fourth quarter too much. But obviously, as you said before, Pittsburgh Steelers, they're not going to go down easy. They're not going to go down without a fight. That's not a Mike Tomlin coach team type of thing to do. They kept it close, but never really got close enough to, I would say, even kind of scared about Buffalo Bills. And Mal, you're frozen. Good evening, Jennifer. How are you? No, overall, I thought that I got you now. You're back. Sort of.
Back?
Sort of. You're lagging.
Back or frozen back?
You're frozen.
I'm lagging.
Yeah. Give it a minute.
Let me know I'm back.
I will. But no, I thought overall, you know, as far as the defense side of the ball went, you know, they did what they had to do. I thought that the Pittsburgh passing game kind of took off a little bit in the second half there to bring them back, keeping it close. But the biggest thing for me is that they kept the Pittsburgh Steelers run game in check. I thought that you could definitely see the emergence of having Daquan Jones back in that Bills lineup. But unfortunately, you know, we're going to have to talk about it at some point during this show. The injuries that we accrued during that game, losing all-pro cornerback, we call him all-pro cornerback now, Teron Johnson to a concussion, then also losing Terrell Bernard to what we thought was a serious injury, and it's starting to seem like it's only a sprained ankle. Whether he can go this week or not, I still see that's up in the air. I would probably say no, but we'll talk about that a little later, plus some other injuries that we have. But overall, I thought the Bills played well. I thought that, I think we got 79 yards from James Cook on the ground game. So that's something that we looked very consistent in the run game versus Pittsburgh. We knew that's going to be a tough defense to run against. Josh Allen, once again, can't say enough about the performance of Josh Allen here. Let's see. Mike Boger says, I was shocked when I saw Kyrie Elam in the game, and then he got that penalty. I'm like, here we go again. The interception was the biggest play of the game. So happy he redeemed himself. And actually, you know what? The interception, very timely, very similar to last year's wild card game versus the Miami Dolphins. So I'd say timely indeed, Mike. Timely indeed. But I want to talk about the performance of our quarterback, Josh Allen, here. Lost us both. Sorry about that. I think this is something that needs to be talked about because, I was reading a stat earlier today that I found on Facebook, and it said his last 3 wild card games, Allen has, I think it's like almost 400 yards passing per game, but averaging about 4 touchdowns, perfect QB rating, and I think like 126 QB rating there. This is a guy, he's showing up big time in big games at this point in time. And I think that for Bills fans, this is absolutely what we wanted to see. We wanted to see him come up big in these moments. I'm not going to lie. During the season, there was points in time, stretches that I was really, really concerned about what Josh Allen we were going to get, what Josh Allen we were going to see. And I think that as Bills fans, we can definitely say that, hey, we do get the tell of 2 tapes at times. And going back to last year versus the Bengals, that was obviously the last look that we got of Josh Allen. So I think
sorry for that, y'all. Not to cut you off, JT. Apologize, everybody. I don't know what happened, but I apologize. I'm back now. Sorry, JT.
Yeah, I mean, wrong. No, I was just explaining. I had some concerns about Josh Allen in this play, and I think that we need to see him come up big because no matter what, right? Josh Allen's always going to end the game with probably a couple touchdowns, rushing stats, passing yards. It's always going to look decent on paper, but I don't always think that when you're breaking down the film of the game, when you're breaking down the game in general, the paper doesn't always add up to what the performance was.
Agreed. Now with that, JT, I must say this, and I agree with you. But at the same time, Josh Allen, he hurts you with certain things. But at the end of the day, what you can always say is Josh Allen always is going to get. He makes up for that, where he gives the team an opportunity to win at the end. Right? Those mistakes hurt us and whatnot, and we want those taken away. But at the same time, when he does have those crucial mistakes, at the end of the game, he always have us hanging around and gives us an opportunity. So I'm not tripping about him as much as most, if that makes sense.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not overly concerned, but at those moments when we see that Josh Allen is not very good, that's turning the ball over, it's going to be that point in time where we don't get a chance to come back at the end. Someone's going to end up putting us away, which was the Cincinnati Bengals last year. You get what I'm saying? So, obviously, knock on wood, not trying to jinx him in his playoffs. I think he'll continue playing consistently. I think that their shoulders look healthy. The elbow is obviously healthy this year, so it's a little bit different. Josh Allen, obviously, got a brand new girlfriend, rumors of engagement, there. So we don't know what the hell was going on with that either. But he just seems to be in a clear headspace. It just seems to me that the team is hungry this year. It seems like they're not being complacent. And I don't know if it's because we switched out some of these guys. Obviously, the backs are switched out for James Cook. Tremaine Edmonds switched out for Terrell Bernard. I forgot who cornerback. Who was our number 2 cornerback last year? Was it it was Benford, but Benford was rotating with Norman, wasn't he, or somebody?
Oh shoot, what was it last year? It was Dane Jackson.
Yeah.
It was Benford Elam rotating.
Right.
Who the heck are we forgetting?
It was
Dane. It was Dane's turn.
Yeah, Dane. Yeah. So,
Dane.
Obviously, I think that overall, the mentality is very different this year. I think that in your back safety group with Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, this could be it. This could be your last shot at this thing. Your front 4, Von Miller he's doing a hell of a job at his QB contain for his 5 snaps a game he's getting right now. All right. Now that's the pure sarcasm. Ed Oliver is playing out of his mind. But with that being said, it's like they're feeding off Josh, and Josh is actually leading this year. I felt like he kind of just sat in the backdrop last year. Mm-hmm. I kind of just felt like he just kind of went with the motions with the team, just sat in the backdrop. I think he's leading by example. I think Stephon Diggs is a lot more vocal this year. And what's funny about Steph? Steph is actually being way more vocal in a positive way, and I think that's shocking a lot of people. It's like absolutely using that C on his chest that he has for captaincy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about Josh's performance versus Pittsburgh? Obviously, I got 3 touchdowns. It was 4, but it was 3 passing touchdowns this game.
I like his performance overall, because when the play needed, once again, if the play needed to be made, he made it. Whether it's third down, whether it's the big run he had, or I don't know, he made a ton of big plays. The 4th down, the 4th and 1, right? And then that was Reggie Gilliam, man, the push there helped. Those plays are huge, right? Making those big plays, those passes. But once again, and I said this before, now all of a sudden I'm starting to hear it everywhere. I said this weeks ago. Josh Allen is going to be like John Elway. He's going to have to be like John Elway did to get his first Super Bowl. The Super Bowl isn't going to be won, or getting to that Super Bowl and winning that Super Bowl isn't going to be won on Josh Allen's arm. It can get us there. I don't think it's going to win. The team that's usually going to win the Super Bowl is a team that can run the ball efficiently. That's the team that usually wins the Super Bowl. Basketball on grass is cute. It's fun for fans to watch. It's exciting. It's not going to win you a Super Bowl. It's going to win you a lot of games, but it's not going to win the big games. You got to be able to run the ball efficiently. You got to be effective with the running game. That's why I think Saturday, the biggest key to this game is going to be stopping the run, containing the run, right? And being also with Cook. If Cook has a big day, Kansas City's done. They're done. Ty Johnson run the ball efficiently as well. We have to run the ball to be able to get to the promised land.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Bring me right to my next topic. Obviously, before we talk about the injury sustained, the Bills released Leonard Fournette from their practice squad yesterday. I know something that you were talking about, which came as a surprise to me. It's a surprise to most. I guess it didn't. I guess I shouldn't say it came as a surprise to me, because it's something that I kind of foreshadowed in the show a couple weeks ago when I said, "Hey, I hope this doesn't turn into a Tavon Austin situation, where he's not being utilized and that ego's still there. That hey, you're that guy," and he asked for his release. And that's exactly what happened with Tavon Austin, and that's exactly what happened now with Leonard Fournette. I believe, Coach Sean McDermott didn't speak much on it. He just said, he wasn't going to get into the reasons of why he was released, but did thank him for a time in Buffalo. James, what do you think of
that? I'm kind of 50-50 on it now. Actually, after we signed the punter right after releasing him, I'm wondering if it's a move, a temporary move. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a temporary move because they need to make room for a veteran on the practice squad, so they released him to sign him right back. I really don't know. Like I'm clueless on what that could be. It very well could be what you're saying, but honestly, the guy that makes it easy for us to make that move is Ty Johnson, man. The way Ty Johnson's playing, dude, you can't, you can't sit him. You know what I mean? You can't. And at this point in time, I mean, he's playing so well. You got to sign him back to a 1-year deal. You have to sign him back immediately at the end of the season. He's playing that well. He's playing that well where Latavius Murray isn't even getting any carries, right? Because he's running the ball so effectively. I mean, he's going to be big down the stretch if he keep running the ball the way he is. So, yeah, I mean, it's a surprise, but he's played in what, 1 game, 2 games for us. So,
yeah. Well, one of the things about, the Leonard Fournette release is, like I say, I personally don't like the timing of it. Like I said, once again, if you win this game versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and for some odd reason Baltimore loses or Baltimore wins either way, you don't know what the weather's going to be here on this East Coast during this time of year.
Yeah.
And I would much rather have a back on the practice squad, Leonard Fournette, than not.
Remember, he's a big back, but he's not a cold weather back necessarily either. He's never played up north. So let's keep that in mind as well. Not saying he wouldn't be helpful. I'm not saying that, but something you got to keep in mind. He's from down south, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Louisiana.
Played at LSU, played for the Buccaneers. And then, that one game he came with, or the one practice he came with the short gear, then all of a sudden he tweeted a couple days later how cold it was in Buffalo. Right. So let's not forget he's not a cold weather dude. Yeah, he has the makeup, the way he look. You may think he'd be a great back for the cold weather, but is he really a cold weather back? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm not saying he is. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I would say this. Okay. Latavius Murray got 0 carries last game.
Yep.
And this is something that we talked about. He got 0 carries, and Ty Johnson's 8.
Yep.
As you said earlier in the year, at some point the wheels is going to fall off. He's a 33-year-old running back in the NFL.
Yeah, the reason why we used him too early, because we were forced to use him earlier than we wanted to. That's why that happened. That was supposed to be his carries this late. I mean, there's a couple of things happened. Ty Johnson started running the ball better than any of us thought he would. Let's be real. Any of us thought Ty Johnson. When we signed Ty Johnson, that's a nice little signing. Practice squad. Dude, that dude is balling out of his mind. None of us thought he played as well.
No, he's playing well. He's playing very, very well. And I don't disagree. But my thing is this. I would much rather have Leonard Fournette in that practice squad right now. Possibly elevating him and leaving Latavius Murray inactive if we're going to give him no carries. And have more explosion at the running back than I would not having him on this roster and going into this game versus the Kansas City Chiefs, which is honestly one of the better defenses in the league now. With Latavius Murray, we don't know what we're going to get or use it for now.
He's straight short yardage back. And they probably trying to preserve him as much as they can at this point. But, I mean, I think with Ty Johnson and James Cook, that's more than enough punch to win you a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Don't forget with Josh Allen legs as well.
Right, true indeed. So, I mean, I guess, we're not going to stick on it too much, but kind of surprised me a little bit. A little bit surprised, not really. Would rather not saw it, but it is what it is. We're going to move on. Actually, I'll take a couple, I'll take a couple questions really quick. Let's see. Let's see. Travis Breaksley said, would you rather have cut Andy Isabella instead with Gabe Hurt and all? No, I wanted to cut him. I think he had 2 cornerbacks, if I'm not mistaken, on the practice squad. And I don't know where the Bills were as far as how many spots they had with players over 3 years or more.
Wait, we only got I think we only had 1 corner with 3 years of experience more on the practice squad is Josh Norman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because how many can we have on the practice squad with 3 years more experience? Number 5?
I thought it was 5. So I don't know, man.
I'll pull it up and take a peek.
Yeah, we got to see what happens. with it. But no, I mean, I don't want to cut Andy Isabella. I see to the truth. I wouldn't even mind if Gabe Davis inactive this game as well. Just gonna say it. So we're moving on to the next topic for the night.
Let me ask you this, JT.
Go ahead.
The Andy Isabella thing. Do you okay? How did Gabe Davis? You can answer this. Is Gabe Davis one of those guys that just create problems for Casey? Is he?
It seems that he is, and I don't know how the hell he does it. Because he sure as hell don't create problems for probably anybody else besides us and Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
So, I would say, he does create problems for Kansas City. Like I said, I don't know how and I don't know why, but specifically Kansas City, he plays well against. But my thing is about this offense, and I don't want to go too deep into this topic because we're going to talk about Khalil Shakir next, was the offense seemed to be more wide open passing the ball without him on that football field. I'm just going to be completely honest. And I don't know if it was how much speed we had on the field, but things seem to be opened up a lot more. But I want to talk about this defense real quick before we go to the offense side. Obviously, the Bills left that game with a W, but we left the game with some L's too. Christian Benford hurt his knee on the fumble, fumble recovery attempt from Pat Freiermuth. Left the game, did not return, did not practice today. Rasul Douglas already went into that game out with his knee injury. Teron Johnson left the game with a concussion. Terrell Bernard left with what looks extremely scary, but seems to be more of a sprained ankle right now. Wrong time, wrong place for the Bills to get these injuries on this defense with the wrong team coming into town. I had to ask you, even though we've played all year with injuries specifically on the defensive side of the ball, and it seems like Sean McDermott has these guys ready to play each week, how much does it concern you?
Not a ton, to be honest. And the reason why is because the guys that's filling in are guys that have played a lot of football for us. And we are talking about a Kansas City team is a team whose offense isn't the strength this year. Their defense is the strength. And people think, when you think Kansas City, you think Mahomes and passing the ball for 300 plus and all this crazy stuff that he's known to do, right? But if you really think about it, their defense is carrying them, right? If their defense doesn't have a good day, they're in trouble, like big trouble, like real big trouble, right? So when you look at, let's say, Terrell Bernard, right? Say he can't play. AJ Klein filled in. Let's see what happened with Spectre. But honestly, in this type of game, their running style actually fits Klein. That's his strength. That's what that in between the tackles, he's about that. That's what he does at this point. If you got dudes that's running, they running a lot of outside zones, and these dudes is getting outside. That's when we'll have an issue if he was there, right? I think he'll be good with that. Dorian Williams, that dude flies around. That dude plays very, very fast and very, very physical. He's played a lot of football for us this year. So at the cornerback position, I'm not too concerned there because we've won games with Dane Jackson starting and with Elam starting. We've won games with that combination before, literally. Them guys have started playoff games. So if you're talking about backups, I mean, they're probably starters on more than 15 teams in the NFL.
Right.
If you really want to get technical, they'll start on 15 teams. We can name 15 teams where those guys would probably be, if not guaranteed, it's a discussion if those guys could start on 15 teams, right? So, and we're talking about injuries to our top two guys, which obviously they make us better. Let's be real. Not saying that they don't. I think we're in a good position. So you're talking about starting Poyer and Hyde as safeties, right? Teron Johnson, I think, is the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about starting Hyde and Poyer. I think Rapp may come back this week. Then you're talking, just say worst case scenario, and even though Douglas says he's playing, you starting Elam and Dane Jackson at corners, right? And then if you got to call up Josh Norman, you're talking about a wise veteran who can use his brain to be able to make some. He's not what he was. Don't get what once was, but he'll be serviceable. Josh Norman will be serviceable with fresh legs, may I add. Defensive line is relatively healthy. Daquan Jones been balling. Him and Linval Joseph, them two dudes are a problem at the one tech. To be honest with you, I personally wouldn't mind if those two were our top two one techs next year and draft a young guy. Ed Oliver's been playing well. Then you're talking Subtle, and um, it was those four that was balling the last week, and then our DNs have been our DNs. So I feel very comfortable what we will roll out. And our offense, if our offense was beat up, that'd be different. Different. I'll be talking maybe a little different going against their strong defense. So our offense is healthy outside of Gabe Davis. But you see, Shakir has really, really stepped up, and those two tight ends are a problem.
So you think that the biggest injury is probably Teron Johnson?
Absolutely, not even close. Not even a discussion. Ain't even a discussion to be had.
Now, the only thing with Teron Johnson, obviously, he's in concussion protocol. This is his second concussion of this season, which normally, on average, you're not clear for 12 days for the second concussion of inside of a calendar year. Yeah. So, with that being said, hopefully we can imagine getting back out there, if he's healthy. But just saying, on average, 12 days between with your second concussion within the calendar year. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Obviously, with Douglas coming back this week, most likely, you have, if Benford plays, you have Elam there. You have Cam Lewis, who's obviously versatile in the slot. I think he struggled personally in relief duty for Teron Johnson last week. I think he struggled.
That's what I'm saying. That's a problem. They're gonna expose that. They're gonna attack that, and that's where you may have to look at moving somebody else aside, which would be tough. It'd be tough.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's the wrong time, wrong place. But we've seen the Bills do this before. We've seen that Sean McDermott do this all season. Mix and match, pick it up together, change defensive play calls, to assure that the injuries doesn't derail his defense. In our year, we've gotten by, and I don't even say we've gotten by. We've actually stayed successful. So with that being said, I would agree with you. I think Teron Johnson is probably the biggest one. Outside of that, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do at the cornerback position as far as number 2 goes. Obviously, Elam is there. How comfortable you are with Elam, that probably varies from week to week. But he's
I told you, I'm very comfortable with him. I personally think that the future outside of Rasul Douglas, outside of that, I'm talking 2 years on 2-3. I think that the future, I've been saying it, is Benford and Elam. I think that would be an elite tandem. Elam is one of them guys I think you just got to let play, man. He's one of those dudes that's going to get better with reps. Let him play. The physical tools he has are ridiculous. And he shows it. I mean, he's made plays for this football team. I can't say he's a bust. People say he's a bust. He's not a bust. He's made plays for this football team. He just hasn't played a lot. He's had some injuries. And I told everybody, Benford is just a baller, man. Quit looking at where somebody's drafted. Benford is a baller. He should have been maybe a first-round pick. If they redid that draft, Benford would be a first-round pick. He's a baller. It's not like he lost the battle to a scrub, like somebody who just a fringe starter, barely does anything. That dude is a baller. So I think if Elam has to play, I have zero concerns there.
Yeah. And actually, I've got a couple people in the chat. Mark's here saying that if Cam struggles, you can see Saran Neal. And our guy Rob asked, haven't we experimented with Saran Neal and Nick Kelsey before? Actually, not last year's game, but the year before last year's game in Kansas City, Saran Neal was in charge of guarding Travis Kelsey that night, and he did a pretty decent job on him. But I guess I got this question to ask: with the injuries mounting, would you, if Christian Benford is going to play in this game and Rasul Douglas plays in this game, would you then task Kyrie Elam with the job of manning up Travis Kelsey all night?
Dude, that's right up his alley right there. That's what he do.
Physical. Right.
That's what he do. Now, I'm not saying he about to go lock down Kelsey. I'm not ready to say that. Nobody has really, right? Even though he has fallen off this year, let's be real. He's not the Kelsey we've seen before in the past. He's not. Let's just keep it funky. He's not, but he's still a very, very damn good tight end. But I think Elam will be up to that type of challenge. That could be a wrinkle you see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, McDermott has done a phenomenal job of putting this thing together and putting together different game plans against different teams. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does against Travis Kelsey this time around in the Kansas City Chiefs. So Marcus Harris says I would put Douglas on Kelsey, keep Elam outside. Not against it. It's something very similar we saw that the Philadelphia Eagles did, but they did it with Kevin Byard right after they traded from Tennessee. Wow, what a train wreck that ended up being, huh?
Oh,
everybody thought our season was with Darrell. Holy crap! The Eagles fell faster than well, I don't even know. I don't know what the hell they fell faster, but they fell faster than anything I've seen in the past.
They got problems in that they not in good. That's a bad situation right now. That's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, it's actually nice for a change hearing somebody talk about firing another coach than Sean McDermott. So, question: do you think the Bills' defense can sustain without Terrell Bernard?
Absolutely.
Long term.
Absolutely. I do. I do. Because of the knowledge of AJ Klein. I'm looking at he's going to be able to get people. We know he's limited. But the one thing about it, he's been with McDermott. McDermott's defense now, right? Calling and everything. He's been with McDermott since Carolina days. So if you talking about anybody that comes in and fill in for your starting dude at the middle, you want it to be somebody like that. Somebody that's got a ton of experience. Somebody that can make the play. Because right there, we know if it goes anything outside, he's limited. We know he's limited in the passing game. That's just what it is, right? If he wasn't limited in that, he wouldn't be here in Buffalo on the practice squad. He'd be starting for somebody. Let's call it what it is, right? So with that, I think we can. I definitely think we can with AJ Klein in the middle.
Makes sense. I think we can. I mean, like I said, the Bills will find a way. Sean McDermott will find a way. I thought as the game went on, the AJ Klein in the first quarter and second quarter was totally different. AJ Klein in the third and fourth quarter, he got his bearings. Obviously this is the guy who was ready to go to Key West vacation with his family when he received the call.
And Spector's a back, right?
Yeah. He I didn't say what it was, but it's like he caught a knee to the back on the fumble recovery. That wasn't a fumble recovery. That was a fumble, but it actually wasn't called a fumble, whatever you want to call it. He took a knee to the back there, and it seemed like maybe he's locked his back up or something, but he seems like he'll be fine, ready to go. But I want to talk about Shakir. All right. Been saying since last year. Put this kid on the field, get the ball in his hands. Good things happen when he's on the football field. Good things happen when you put the ball in his hands. And I don't even think at this point in time, it's not even just coming up with the big plays. It's every time he's on the field, I think that we're more or less expecting him to make these type of plays. And I think he's writing his name in today. Say, hey, if Gabe Davis walks this offseason, you're in good hands with me.
Once again, I think he's more than done that, JT. And one thing you've done for since before training camp even opened, you said that you thought Shakir would be that guy after Gabe. You called it, and he's proven it. That dude is making plays, man. He's making some plays.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because I was just talking on the show last week about, having the conversations with Moats this offseason and just asking him, about his training, things like that. And once again, all he said was, give him opportunity, he going to make plays.
Yep.
Eric said this back in July. He can play all three receiver positions. He's locked in. Put him on the football field, and he'll make plays. He's come up big every time when he's been called upon, and we've even seen multiple 100-yard games this year as well. Do you think that there's something in the Bills' passing game that unlocks with Khalil Shakir on the football field and Gabe Davis is not?
I think it's a lot more versatile, right? I think it's a lot more you can do with him, as opposed to Gabe Davis, right? Not saying he's just way better than Gabe Davis. It's a lot more. You can be a lot more creative with him in the lineup. I think he's a better route runner. He has proven to have some short hands so far. So I think that's what kind of changes things when he's in there, right? It's just he's a little bit limited. Gabe Davis with certain routes. Um, so I think that's maybe where we see a difference.
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of stuck and baffled of why is it taking this long to get him more involved in this offense? The minute that they released Isaiah McKenzie last year, I just assumed that Shakir was going to be your slot. All right. Now, obviously, we see Diggs, Boston, Mitch Max moved around a little bit more than he has in the past. But to me, it still felt like the reps for Khalil Shakir still wasn't there like they should be. The targets for Khalil Shakir weren't there like they should be. But there's a big difference when he's touching the football and these other guys are.
100% fact.
There's a big difference. When Gabe Davis gives you 4 games of 0 catches, 0 yards, at the end of the day, at what point do you say, hey, let me get this kid the ball? And mind you, I'm totally okay with them force feeding Steph the ball and make sure he gets his 7-8 touches a game. Okay? I have no issue with that. But at some point in time, we have to look at Khalil Shakir and say, hey, how many of these screens do we throw to him? Do we get this ball in his hands on a reverse?
Yes.
Do we put him in the backfield and run him out the backfield on a certain route?
On that touchdown run, do you see how he boogie, dude?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. The versatility is at what point do we start drawing some things up for Khalil Shakir? And I mean, if there's any time that to do it, this week versus Kansas City will probably be that week. Because who L'Jarius Sneed's going to be on.
Yep, 100%.
And like I said, hats off to L'Jarius Sneed and Kansas City Chiefs. He's playing lights out ball. He's probably your best cornerback in NFL right now as far as where he's playing. Okay? But at the end of the day, these other guys got to win these matchups. Yes. And when I look around at Dalton Kincaid, I look at Dawson Knox, I look at Gabe Davis.
Those are mismatches right there. When you mention those two, Dawson Knox and Kincaid, they can create a headache for defenses. Because you can't put a corner. If you put a cornerback in on them, right? The dilemma you're in, they go 12 personnel, right? 1 back, 2 tight ends. If you put a linebacker on Kincaid, it's a wrap, right? You take if you take a DB and put a DB on him, you see what Dallas tried to do. You're going to run the ball for a bajillion yards because they just can't. A 200-pound safety DB is not going to be able to run fit like a 235, 240-pound linebacker. And so it's a mismatch. That's the problem it creates. So I'm anticipating we'll see a lot of 12 personnel this week because of those reasons.
And the funny thing is, those other guys, they create mismatches, but Khalil Shakir creates touchdowns. You blink and he's gone. This is probably, in looking at it, this is probably the fastest Bills offense that was on the football field since the Rex Ryan regime was here. Yeah. When you have Percy Harvin and Sammy Watkins and those guys running around in the receiving corps.
Yep.
But at one point in that game, you had Khalil Shakir with 4.3 speed on the football field. Stephon Diggs. I don't even know what the hell Stephon Diggs runs in his 40. And it doesn't really quite matter because when he's on the football field, he's running faster than you. Okay? Yeah. I call it the Jerry Rice speed. Doesn't matter what the 40 says. I'm just fast. Right. I'm just faster than you on the football field. Khalil Shakir, 4.3 speed. Dalton Kincaid, 4.6 speed.
What did Shakir run in the 40?
4.38.
Did he? Okay.
Yes, he did. Deontay Hardy, 4.3 speed. You had 3 guys on a football field at one time with 4.3 speed. And if you want to throw James Cook in there, you could throw a 4th guy in there. I don't even know if we've ever had that much speed on one football field in Buffalo. You'd probably really have to go back to Thurman Thomas and Don Beebe and those guys.
Yeah, I don't think none of them was 4.3. Yeah, they wasn't that fast.
Only Don Beebe was.
Don Beebe was an Olympic speed type dude. But
Yeah. Don
other
Beebe
than
was
that, you had
Don Beebe
nobody who was
different.
just ridiculously fast.
So it just took him to a point where he keeps making plays, and I think that there should be a package of plays in this playbook this week for Khalil Shakir. You're gonna get the matchups with him. You know what KC's gonna do. They're gonna try to get to the pass rush. They're gonna blitz. They're gonna have a spy on Josh. Let Shakir win that matchup. Gabe Davis got 4 touchdowns off the same matchup a couple years ago in the AFC Championship game because of it.
Yes.
Let Shakir cook, man. Simply let Shakir cook. But
Can't disagree with you, JT.
I want to move on too, because we already talked about the game mostly anyway, but I want to talk about this Bills and Chiefs preview. And Mookie says Shakir has been clutch. Remember, this offense was flawed. Cook wasn't even involved, and it took Brady to get going. Diggs, Cook, Josh Kincaid, Shakir Hardy. It took a lot of dogs. Yeah. He's not lying.
Yeah.
You know, this is a different offense now. It's the biggest thing about the offense is the versatility of it. Like you said, if you want to put a cornerback out there or extra defensive back on that football field, then we're going to run it.
That's our strength is the 2 tight ends right now. That's our strength, honestly. Against a strong defense like this, you put that 12 personnel out there, you make them stop James Cook, man. You make them stop Cook.
Marcus Harrison, that's why you start Shakir in 12 personnel. And I've been saying it too.
Yep.
Like I said, I love Gabe Davis run blocking, but I love Khalil Shakir's playmaking.
Well, PCL injury, man. Even if he came back this week, how effective would he be? You know,
I don't know. He wasn't very effective without the big PCL injury. Hey, it is what it is, you know. So, actually, who else we got? Read some comments. Jason Towell says, totally agree, JT. That could be our new look versus KC. Mookie says that Shakir has better play design than Diggs. Agree with that. Jennifer says, we have so many damn weapons, they're not going to know who to key on. I think that's the key right there. Is like you've been saying all along, James, put the best people on the field.
Got to. That's something.
Yeah.
I mean, that catch by Hardy was big too. Even that one catch makes you have to think like in your head, like, hold on, he's not a decoy out there.
Right. I think you try to get up on these guys early, and you go to, you know what Stephon Diggs gonna give you? Go to all the other guys early. Get this defense moving around. Ray Cruz says, but why do they insist on using Diggs on the screen plays to start 0-5 behind line of scrimmage? Why aren't they using them vertically? You know, that's a good question. For some reason, him and Josh are just not connecting vertically, and we've seen him have them a couple of times this year, and he just missed them. But I think that the screens is just to get the ball in his hands, to get him going early.
Let him touch the ball, let him get a rhythm. That's the main thing.
Yeah. And, Ray Cruz, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ray Cruz may have lost his close family member to him this week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to you, Ray.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers, Ray.
Appreciate you joining us on this night as well with everything going on. Marcus Harris says 12 personnel with Cook, Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Diggs, and Shakir.
Absolutely.
And Mike Boger says, I like Shakir as a running back and then move Cook out to receiver. We could have Cook one-on-one with the linebacker. That's actually a pretty damn good play design right there. That's pretty good. And then, too, same time, if the Chiefs don't want to play possible shift anything around, maybe they had that linebacker follow Cook to the outside. We've seen that happen this year as well. And I think that's the one that Cook dropped the touchdown. So
they're going to try Spag's going to try to turn it into a game of chess offense for our offense. He's going to try to make our offense think. He's going to blitz like crazy. And we got to make their ass pay when they do.
At this point in time, when you think about the last couple of games that Josh Allen has played, especially versus Miami, with how many times Vic Fangio sent the zero blitz at him.
Mm-hmm.
If Spags come out and he blitzes as much as we think he might, how comfortable is Josh going to be because of those games he just played with aggressive teams?
He'll be comfortable. See, it's going to be a lot different after playing them once this year, and then playing the team that was aggressive like Miami. He'd be all right. Honestly, if I'm them, I wouldn't blitz as much. But who knows? They're gonna do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Buffalo needs to get up in this game often early. How much pressure is on Josh Allen to win this football game versus Patrick Mahomes? Because we've seen for 2 to 3 years now, we're always in KC. We were early, we're never in Buffalo. Now we finally got the Chiefs in the playoffs, and it's at home.
I think it's more pressure on McDermott than Josh, because if Josh plays well again, because he's played well against them, it's not like he plays awful against them, right? It's just
he plays well.
He's put us in position. He's always put us in position to beat them. I think the pressure will be more on McDermott. And for people to say, I personally don't think it's pressure, because these are two good teams. Somebody's going to lose, right? I'm hoping that I think the Bills should win. But he'll be fine.
We talked
about more pressure on. Think about Mahomes. He got pressure. There's a lot of all this talk about him in his first road playoff game, so it's pressure there.
And you know what? Did you realize that the Chiefs were 6-2 in a row this year?
I did not.
They're 6-2 in a row. So this is a team that has been very solid on the road, mind you. 4 of those, three of those road games came against their own division, which really wasn't that great this year, but still.
You're talking about the Raiders, you talk about the Broncos.
And the Chiefs. The Chargers.
Chargers, yeah. Chargers were bad. Raiders they had some things going on. The Broncos had some things going on there as well. Not that they're bad teams, but, did they even beat all three of those? They were 3-0 in those games?
I don't even know. I think they lost to –
I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Well, they lost to the Raiders at home, that last game. See, they lost to the Raiders at home. I have to check and see.
Yeah, I'm checking right now as we speak, or you got it.
And we're talking about Coach McDermott here, right? Just per se, the Bills lose this football game. It'll be 2 years in a row that you lost the divisional round game at home. Obviously, last year is a little bit different feel with that game versus Cincinnati, obviously, with everything that happened leading up to the game with DeMar Hamlin, things as such. But just per se, the Bills lose this game. Is Sean McDermott on the hot seat going into next year?
No.
Still no.
You won the division 4 years in a row. I don't think you're on the hot seat unless it's come out bad. I just can't. Me personally, no. Not at all. He's I still believe he's one of the top coaches in the NFL. No, absolutely not.
I don't think he need to be on the hot seat with the Pagulas. I don't even think that we're anywhere in that element yet with them. Okay. I don't think we will get to that point until possibly following 2024. 2025, let's just say. But I will say this. The media pressure, the media strain, the media doubts will be at an all-time high. And there's going to be a lot of I told you so's if they lose this football game with him at the helm.
Well, before we end this, JT, I know we have to offset that. So I'm going to go over the games that they lost on the – I'm going to go over all the games they played on the road.
This is the Chiefs? Okay, go ahead.
Chiefs. All right? They won at Jacksonville. They won at the Jets. Won at the Jets. They won at Minnesota. They lost at Denver.
Okay.
They lost at Lambeau Field against Green Bay. They won at New England. They won at the Chargers.
Okay.
So some of these games they won here. I mean, we not talking playoff teams, but they won. They won.
Period. Right. No, I don't know. Like I said, I just for me personally, I would love to see Coach McDermott and the Bills win this football game. Obviously, I'm a fan of the team, but just for him in general, he has not seemed to struggle with the Kansas City Chiefs since 2021. To me, it feels like he has their number, and the Kansas City Chiefs are more or less guessing about what to do with the Buffalo Bills, because I don't believe that the Buffalo Bills are a good matchup for Kansas City anymore at this point in time. Not without Tyreek Hill, and I said that the day Tyreek Hill left, that without him, this team doesn't scare me. Like, nothing against those guys on the opposite floor. They're good players. Sky Moore, Valdez-Scantling, Kadarius Toney, Travis Kelce, and I mean the emerging Rashee Rice. But once again, none of those guys are Tyreek Hill. And without Tyreek Hill, that football team doesn't scare me.
Yep. Yeah, so all right.
I guess last question, we'll get ready to get out of here, man.
Before my phone, I had switched devices and they die soon. So.
Okay. Who needs to have the biggest game for the Bills, offense or defense?
James Cook. That's my choice. James Cook. If James Cook has 100 yards, we win this game. Like, without a question. We can win it without him getting 100 yards. He has 100 yards on a touchdown, that puts him to sleep. And don't let Josh have 25 to 40 yards rushing and Ty Johnson give you 25 to 40 yards rushing. If we have 150, 200 rushing, dude, we may blow them out. But our defense got to play solid. We need a turnover. We're going to need a turnover. We got to put hands on Mahomes. But I always have to say James Cook.
Okay.
Who's yours?
Mine's gonna be Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver. Actually, I'm gonna go Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau. If there's any game that those two guys need to show up, it's those two.
Vaughn getting close. I know you talked about him early. He getting close, man. They're helping. I'm not saying he about to be just tearing stuff up. I honestly like what I've been seeing.
Yeah. So the reason I say those two guys is because those are two guys who can wreck a game, running the ball and passing, and against the run and against the pass. We've seen Rousseau give the Chiefs problems before, and I think that if we're going to get one of those performances from him, this is the one. Teams struggle with the Chiefs because you can't get Mahomes down to the ground, much like teams struggle with the Bills because you can't get Josh Allen down to the ground. In this situation, I think that the pass rush is going to have to get home, period. And if they do that, they can end this game often. They can end this game early. Because I got this feeling that the Chiefs defense, I got a feeling that they're not going to be able to stop this Bills offense. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think that this Chiefs defense is going to really struggle versus Bills offense if they come out to play. But all starts with Ed and Rousseau. I think that's where it starts and where it actually ends. So if we can get the performance for those two guys that we know we can get, I think we'll be all right. But hey, guys, I think we end up losing James. He did say his device is going to end up possibly dying. But I do want to say I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Not sure if we're going to do another show this week. Probably not. Obviously, you guys can hear I'm still a little under the weather here. But James, before we get out of here,
I had to pop back in. I had to. I had to. I know my one phone died. I got a backup. I can't leave the people hanging, JT.
Always got to have a backup. That's fine. Any final thoughts to the before we take off tonight?
Final thoughts, man. Anybody going to the game, just as a player, like coming to the game and seeing our fans have our back, that energy is transferable. Bring that energy. We need y'all loud. We need y'all turned up. There's going to be highs in the game. There's going to be lows, peaks and valleys in this game. There's two really good teams, two teams that can represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. nobody would be surprised if the Bills or the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, right? So that energy from Bills Mafia is going to be everything. So bring that energy. Even when there is a point the team may not have a couple of series or playing bad, so then just keep up that high energy, and y'all could be the momentum to get that thing changed over. So no matter how the game's going, we down by 10, we up by 10. Stay turned up. We down by 14, we up by 14. Stay turned up. Bring that energy. But I think the Bills will come out victorious. I think it's going to be a very close game. Running the ball, creating turnovers, and limited hours. I think that's the key.
And no special teams mistakes. Make your damn field goals, Tyler Bass. Make your damn field goals.
Yep.
But other than that, hey, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week, hopefully moving on to the AFC Championship game, which, you never know. If we win and Baltimore lose, that game can be in Buffalo too. And I keep telling myself, hey, if that game's in Buffalo, I may have to just come on up and get that ticket and take that ride because that environment is going to be absolutely nuts and insane. So other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for commenting. You guys help with the show a lot and make it more entertaining and honestly give a lot of good opinions. So
absolutely. I love them. JT, we might have to switch it up this Sunday, man. We might have to get them a 12 o'clock pregame show. What's happening?
I'll be at work, brother. Can't do that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the work schedule.
Yeah, the work schedule don't work for that no more. But
who knows? I may pop up Dolo.
Like Glenn Rowe says, he's all the way from Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada. So, hey, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. But
hey, other than that, go Bills. We'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully we'll be on to the AFC Championship. We'll see. Well, guys,
hold up, JT. One thing before we go, please. We need a bold prediction from you and I.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, give one. What you got?
I got to go first?
Go ahead.
My bold prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I ain't going to say it's bold, but Kincaid will have 100 yards receiving.
Okay.
And I'm telling you now, somebody on that D-line is going to have 2 sacks. I got a couple of names in mind. Somebody's going to have 2 sacks on the D-line. Kincaid have 100 yards receiving.
Yeah. My bold prediction is the Bills will force 3 turnovers in this football game.
You said force 3 turnovers?
Three forced turnovers in this football game.
Okay.
And the Chiefs don't turn it over much.
Okay.
So, that's mine.
Mahomes have given the ball up this year a little bit, so it wouldn't be too crazy to throw a pick or 2.
Yeah, but he doesn't really do it against us a lot. So I want to see it. They're
gonna try to force the ball to Tony after what happened. You know that, right?
I doubt that. I mean, go ahead and there'll be our 3 forced turnovers. But other than that, hey guys, we're definitely getting out of here. Catch you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully next week. Peace.